Hello, this is Daniel Vail with Sports and Wrestling Talk. I forgot that this is a live video, so I did something kind of embarrassing, so I decided to restart this video. Okay, so before I get started, I'm just gonna share this. Try to be quicker than it was last two times I tried this. Thought I'd let y'all know that I created a podcast on Launchpad. Completely different than what I usually do. Instead of talking about wrestling, I'm going to talk about fighting, professional fighting. At some point, ESPN's going to start airing Professional Fighters League. Because what they do that's different than any other MMA company is two things. Number one, they handle it like it's a season instead of being throughout the year. So they have an off season. And they have playoffs. And whoever goes in the tournament in the playoffs is who ends up ending the season as a champion. And they have 6 championships. So they have you will have 6 different people have a chance to win $1 million. And former WWE commentator who also has, not commentator, ring announcer, who also has her own podcast on the WWE network, Lillian Garcia. She is the ring girl for, not ring girl, ring announcer for PFL. So, we'll be talking about that, and Bellator, because that's going to be my first topic, and Bellator, MMA, and UFC. And if I can watch Bellator, MMA, not MMA, but kickboxing, because I think they're the first MMA company in the history of MMA to also be a kickboxing company. So their latest, I think they may do kickboxing shows on TV from beginning to end like they do their MMA shows. So we'll be talking about that also. And if y'all are on Facebook and y'all would want to let me know what you think of my show, and by the way, I'm talking about this show, then you can put my name in, Daniel Vaillant, and you can look up my name, Daniel Vaillant, and if you see an AEW logo on my profile picture, that's my account that I use. So if you want to let me know what you think, then just send me a message, and that's how I would like to communicate with people. I'm also on Twitter. I have a few different accounts, but the account I like to use the most is called Ruthless_Arapod. I don't think you have to follow me on Twitter to send me a direct message. So if you're not on Facebook but on Twitter and you want to let me know what you think about my show, then please leave me a direct message and I'll respond to it. Okay, so I'll just start talking about NXT from last week. I thought the finish was incredible. I've never seen a finish like that I can remember in recent history. Kushida put a hammerlock on Johnny Gargano and hit him with a vertical suplex and bridged in the middle of it to win the match for himself in the unrough. So in the Dutch Rhodes Tag Team Classic, not only did they beat Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano, but they move on to the next round, and they are gonna face NXT UK Tag Team Grizzled Young Veterans. Aside from that next matchup in the bracket, I don't have a full screen and I don't know how to get one, so it looks like okay. I would have to put on the audio to know if there what the next matches are for the to determine the next semifinal match.
Second round matchup that has been made, but I mean, if my math's correct, Kushida's now beat Johnny Gargano not once, but twice.
Okay, I do have to rewind it a little bit.
In this matchup with confidence on full display, and you are looking at the team that is advancing to the next round of the Dusty Classic.
Round one, and one of the favorites has already been eliminated.
Let's take a look at the updated bracket for the men's Dusty Cup. As you can see, Kushida, Leon Ruff advanced to now take on the grizzled young veterans.
Now I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to go on the settings so I could get this so I could get the picture to being wider or full screen. Support preferences, account overview. I don't know what resolution means, so but oh, okay. That might be a big difference. Yeah, looks like I got it full length. Okay, so now that I see it, the next team at the top of the bracket, the next two teams to face each other is Arya Davari and Tony Nese going against Ashante Adonis and Desmond Troy. And Imperium goes against Lucha House Party. So those are going to be interesting matches. Show Pete Dunne holding a pre-recorded promo. Just likely that's going to be something I need to listen to also. So I think it's a promo against Finn Balor. So let's just go. Okay, let me just fast forward this. When I look at the Thunderdome, it's interesting to me how AEW was able to get not only use their own roster that's not being used a lot, members of the roster that is not being used a lot on Dynamite, and they've used them as their audience, which is actually a bit that's actually makes it more interesting because, and I think WWE did that too, but because they had to call, because the referee had to call them into the ring to actually play a part in the show. I think that's why they eventually went with Thunderdome, and I don't think they used superstars as fans in the audience. I don't think they did that until I saw AEW do that. So when I look at Thunderdome, I just think how interesting it is. How even though you get more fans on Thunderdome, I think it's interesting how not only do they use AEW use their talent front row, but in the upper seats you see a lot of regular fans in there too. I think that's very interesting. So let's hear what P. Dunn has to say.
Finn Balor, whether you want to admit it or not, you know full well that me and you are cut from the same cloth. We came from the same humble beginnings, but see, here's where we're different. You left. I built an entire brand. I made NXT UK. And what do I get as a thank you? I constantly get compared to you and what you've done. You told me.
A lot of people want to face the challenge. Get in line.
What do you mean get in line? I'm the real threat to you in that NXT title. You say you don't watch this business, but I know you've been watching me. You've been watching for years, and you know as well as I do that me and you, it's inevitable. And this time, you can't just leave. When that day comes, you will pass the torch. History's going to speak well of you, but it's going to speak better of me. The day that me and you finally meet, people are going to realise that you're just somebody taking part in my legacy.
I remember when I first saw Pete Dunne in the NXT UK, or should I, not UK, but the tournament to crown the European champion, which I wondered why they retired that championship in the first place when it was a WWF title. So I remember thinking how when you saw how not really reckless, but how he does things that today's fans are not used to seeing. I remember thinking whoever called him the Bruiserweight in reality gave him, in real life that is, because sometimes they come up with a nickname and sometimes the nickname is just handed to them because they may not understand the part of the business of why you call yourself a certain nickname. So I know that he likely called himself the Bruiserweight himself in real life because he's been doing this a long time. When I saw some things he would do, I was like, is that a British thing? Because I saw the villain Marty Scurll in New Japan one time take his opponent's middle finger, I think it was, and just I believe what he did was I think he possibly dislocated it, and the only thing I've ever dislocated, it's very painful. That's why I was surprised he did that. The only thing I've ever dislocated has been my left and my right knee at different times. So, knowing how all you have to do is do like that to pull it back, I know that it's painful to dislocate any body part, but what I really want to know is how do they think of doing that, and how do they do that without it being real, without it, being real? Because it's supposed to be a show. That's one thing I thought about. I also thought why don't we see more people acting like that? And I don't like seeing people's fingers be bent like that. But what makes me curious is, why don't they go? Some people don't go that far, and I'm just wondering why they don't do that. And even Jim Ross said years ago, probably a couple of years before CM Punk left WWE, he said that more stars need to be like CM Punk because he didn't find a comfort zone. He always wanted to make the company better, but that's not necessarily what he meant. What he meant was he didn't mind stepping on the creative people's toes, or really Vince McMahon or his families. And when you have an attitude like that, it is better for the product because it makes it more interesting and people want to watch it. So this promo right here made me want to watch NXT every week just to see how close we are to seeing this match happen. So this was great on Pete Dunne's part, as well as Triple H for letting him cut that promo.
Well, the past was yours, but the future's mine. Always soon to see the passing of the torch from Finn Balor to Pete Dunne.
Well, when you think about Finn Balor, you have to talk about Kyle O'Reilly. We have an update. Kyle re-aggravated his jaw injury last week. However, guys, he has been medically cleared to compete. So that is good news for Kyle O'Reilly and the Undisputed Era. But we got to talk about what's still to come here on NXT. It's someone else who has their eyes on gold.
I can't watch this. This is too strange. Right. Yeah, we're talking about the former heavyweight champion, Cross. That's all I remember. And they're showing the vignette of he and his wife Scarlett, and they always use an owl or a hourglass for something. So next we have, I always forget this guy's name, but he is like a manager in NXT.
I've got so much star power in here. Straight up, Steve Austin. Monday after Raw on USA.
Excuse me, Malcolm. What are you doing outside of Mr. Eagle's office?
Well, Tyler, Russ, and I are here waiting because we have something very important to present to William Regal. This man is the future of NXT. I've said it before and I'll say it again. He's not a rookie. He's a diamond in the rust. He's a future NXT North American champion. He's a future NXT champion. And by...
I got here early. Sorry. I saw Mr. Regal, took the lead, and guess what? We got the match. The guy tonight, too. Bronson Reed.
That's not... Bronson Reed is not the direction that they're going in, but it's done, it's done. And tonight you're going straight to the top. We have a match tonight. The future. The future.
Well, guys, it looks like tonight we're getting Tyler Rust versus Bronson Reed. Back to you.
Karrion Cross. He's going in there against a jiu-jitsu expert. At least what he looks like when he puts up those fighting stance. So, not usually, I think, I don't know how many times Karrion Cross uses the, Karrion Cross, excuse me, uses what could be known as the, I don't know, suplex is named after somebody from Japan, And this guy did a movie with Chuck Norris, but I don't know his name. Alright, here's doing the Northern Lights. You did a Northern Lights suplex just to stand up. You got out of that front face lock. He did that suplex I was about to talk about. He hit this suplex a few times. Like I said, I don't know the name of it, but it is very popular, and I know that at least I know that they some people haven't call it by a name, but I don't know what it's called. So if they call it a name, I gotta hear it. So I'm gonna put the sound on.
Of the upcoming Dusty Classic that will happen this Friday on 205 Live. But look at Cross.
Well, hats off to Ashanti and Adonis making those attempts, but no, they just bounce off Karrion Kross.
They cross so impressive. Look at no wasted motion as he goes and looks inside. Suplex.
Saito, Mr. Saito, that's what it was.
It can happen when Karrion
Hits him with a couple of Saito suplexes. And I'm just hoping way he hit them that it was the right way. Let's put that forearm forearm. Yeah, he won the match. Even though I don't know much of a story that tells, I think we know. The purpose is that he wants the title, and no matter who he goes against, he's always going to show that intensity to them. I think that's the main story. 2/3 of the Rascals from TNA just signed with NXT, so they were doing a vignette for them, because that's obviously who VSK is in the Dust Roads Tag Team Classic. They actually have Ember Moon talk about them as the first person to talk about them in this vignette.
Look, we know what Karrion Kross is about. But after last week, the question became, what is MSK all about after their debut?
Oh, MSK. I thought it was a V for some reason. Okay.
Watch this. I'm going to throw off all these tag team questions. MSK, Wesley and Max Carter, #1 tag team in all of NXT. What? How is that going to throw them off? Because I'm #1. Very nice. Very nice.
Who is MSK?
Wesley, Nash Carter. Fate brought us together and 100% family. You got it? We are
You can feel the energy radiating off this team.
MSK is one of the most innovative tag teams you've ever seen, for damn sure. The innovation, the skill, the precision.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
The hype is real.
All the hard work, dedication, all the blood, sweat, and tears.
I'm about to get a tear right now just thinking about winning that cup.
MSK regress in the Dusty Classic.
We've fought for this for so long. And now that we're finally here, we are not going to let this opportunity slip away.
This is everything to us. MSK.
He's going to win the Dusty Cup.
Earlier today, we saw Kushida and Rock Advance, and now former tag team champions Imperium have their opportunity against Lucha House.
So So Lucha House Party goes against Imperium next, and yeah, always what I like to do, just take the sound off, and just as I'm looking at it, I just sometimes it is easier just to watch it, and I'm not repeating myself. I just wanted to say, taking the sound off, it makes it easier to do what I like to do. With a team like Lucha House Party, makes it hard to know, okay, besides the fact that they go against a very traditional team like Imperium, where they are catch as catch can, as well as ground and pound, that, you know, if it wasn't for Imperium being that style, you would start to question what is going to happen in this match. And even against Imperium, you know that Lucha House Party is going to have a lot of add a lot of crazy daredevil stunts, but know that against Imperium it's going to be a little harder because they ground and pound, and they're very traditional in the way that they work. I don't even know which member of Lucha House Party is even starting this match. He tags in who looks like Metalik. And then the guy in the purple mask goes for a head searches to take down their legal opponent, and gets him for the Metalik gets splash from off the top shoulders of his partner onto their opponent for a 2 count. That he goes for a wrist lock. I think he ends up, he tags in his partner to get out of that. An arm drag to Metalik, then a kick. A couple of times to Metalik. Libre, I think is the name. Lucha Libre, okay. Eichner made the tag to his partner. Or Eichner was tagged in. And this guy, obviously, with the bald head. He's done a real good job grounding Metalik until Metalik dug that clothesline or right hand, but he gets caught, put into a backbreaker by Eichner. He's still kicked out with a pinfall, though. Irish whip. Eichner definitely. Backward sling blade is what he got hit with after he got kicked by Metalik. Tags in his partner. Have to look at the closed captioning to know what the partner's name is. Eichner caught the legal man, put him against the midair when he went through the middle rope onto him in a suicide dive, got caught and put into the hard part of the ring. Metalik wants to help him. Forgot about the other member of Imperium. Right now, the referee should be counting Eichner and Metalik because Metalik is not the legal man. Go to commercial break. So this Imperium is still in control. Barthel is the other guy from Imperium. Ooh. Goes to kick the hamstring of his opponent, and he put the leg over the ropes. Put him on the top turnbuckle, then he hits him with about two right hands, and it was blocked. A couple of times, 3 to be exact. Right hands of his own goes the opponent in the ring. He gets hit with a kick to slow down his momentum. Let's see. Front face like he's getting countered by his opponent. So Barthel's got to figure out something to stop him. Couple of rotations until he gets hit with a tornado DDT by his opponent. Lindsay probably is the one in the purple suit. So they're both crawling to their opponent. Looks like Lindsay is getting there faster though. Well, Eichner was able to get tagged in, so was what is their name? I found okay. Lindsay Dorado, okay. I think that might have been what just said was the one who got tagged, was the legal man. One in yellow is tagged now, just to say that. Goes for that kick to slow down Eichner. Top rope walk, head scissors, gets it. Kick. Jumps. Moonsault. Flex leg, 2, kick out. Wheelbarrow DDT by Eichner and his tag team partner, saved by the other member of Charles' party. So it's Grand Metalik, okay. So I said it right earlier, I just forgot the name.
And now Eichner with a DDT. Might not have gotten all of it. Certainly got enough for a counter out of to break things up.
Dorado saw Metalik was in big trouble and was there for his partner. That's what
Dorado's the only name I know for his partner.
Slip from Imperium, but still effective. And now Lindsay Dorado down.
Lindsay, okay.
Oh, stinging right hand and another tag made. Back in comes Eichner.
So, what does he go for? Throws him in. Eichner. Grand Metalik got out of it, and he tagged himself in. Kicks Eichner, sunset flip. See what Grand goes for here. Drop kick into that, I'm not even sure what kind of cover it's called, but it's a flip that could be used to counter a wheelbarrow attempt. Then that gets saved by Eichner's partner. Eichner counters an Irish whip and goes for an Irish whip of his own, gets it, runs it to a right hand. by Lindsay. Dorado gets thrown into Eichner. And Dorado jumps right into Eichner's partner. So let's see. Although there's some great maneuvers, even though Imperium did some great high action maneuvers, they weren't able to win. So Eichner tags in his partner. His partner catches Lindsay Dorado, kicks him when he's standing. See, they just Lindsay just countered a Frankenstein. Just countered one move with a Frankensteiner, and here comes Grand Metalik to come with a Frankensteiner of his own to Eichner's tag team partner. Throws right into him. Let's see. Such a great match. So what he goes for here, moonsault onto the outside floor. Onto Eichner. Where I forgot about this partner, hits him with a uppercut and a roll up, but that ends with a 2 count. As Lindsay kicks out, then a super kick. I'm not even really sure what body part that was given to. Jumps up top. Shooting star press. 2, 3. Lucha House Party win. So, they go against Phantasma and his tag team partner known as Legado del Fantasma. That's going to be interesting.
Wow, what a win for Grand Metalik and Lindsay Dorado. And it's back to the drawing board for Imperium.
That loss has to sting like hell for Aichner and Bartel.
Stings like hell for me, Brad. They were my number one pick.
Remind me to never take anything into
They look up and
Alexander Wolf. What's Alexander Wolf doing here? We all thought Alexander Wolf was still over in the UK. Alexander Wolf back here at NXT, but we got to get back on topic of what happened earlier tonight here at NXT. Was the weigh-in, the official weigh-in for the Fight Pit match here tonight.
All right, step on the scale, please. All right, official weight for Tommaso Ciampa, 201 pounds.
Timothy Thatcher's weight is 225.6.
Timothy Thatcher, 225 pounds.
225.6, excuse me.
Gentlemen, in the 5 pit tonight, best of luck.
That was unnecessary. 4-inch difference. 24-pound difference. The reach, I'm surprised they put this, is a 5-inch difference. That is actually the most in MMA, as I was talking about earlier. That is the most interesting aspect of MMA, and I don't even know if they do that for yeah, they do. So legitimate fighting, the most interesting aspect is I'm talking about the reach each fighter has. 73 inches, which is like, you know what? I'm not even going to say that because I don't know how they figure out a reach. I don't know what they compare a reach to. So I can't figure that in the way I usually do.
And don't forget, it's been a long time coming. You see
So now you have the women's tag team classic. And I actually forgot about this earlier when I said, what other how else can they make history? This is how they're making history now. And I know one way they can continue making history, and that is instead of just calling a women's tournament for WrestleMania or a Battle Royal, really, just calling it women. Why not? I know some people want to name it after China, but I think it would. I think naming it after Stational Sherry or somebody like that is more fitting because because how long they were around the business and what they did for the business. So, Aaliyah teams with Desi Kamiya. Dakota Kai teams with Raquel Gonzalez. Marina Shafir and Zoe Stark team up. Gigi Dolan and Cora Jade team up. And Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell team up. Now, obviously, Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro, who also team up to go against Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm, obviously they won their first round match because I saw a clip of it on Twitter. And I was amazed actually at the top rope maneuver that KC won. And it's not really surprising. It's just something I've never seen before, which is hard to do today. It's not surprising because she is a former mem contestant on American Ninja Warrior. So to go through that, you can do almost anything. So that's why it's amazing to see what she did.
Temptation Island season premiere February 16th on USA.
Are you ready to go?
Are you ready?
Ready for this, Starter?
The irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
They were just doing an advertisement for WWE on Peacock, and now starting in March, that's gonna be the main place to watch WWE Network on for either the traditional $9.99 price or $4.99. What's gonna be interesting though is starting with that, they're gonna start airing more documentaries once a year. The question is, are they going to continue the documentaries they already started? Like soon, like probably this week, they're going to start their Icons show. Are they going to continue that on Peacock? Are they going to continue Ruthless Aggression story, which I actually loved seeing just a few minutes. Just watching how the brand split started, I loved that. So are they going to continue talking about that? And when you talk about that, I'm going to start talking about the brand split itself because it was so much fun to watch. Okay, so let's press play. Actually standing by the trophy itself. Regal has an announcement to make. He's standing by two women, it looks like.
Well, it is time for history to be made.
Ladies and gentlemen, WWE Hall of Famer, Beth Phoenix.
You know, I am so excited and proud to be here as NXT prepares to make history once again. You know, NXT has been at the forefront of the women's evolution. And right here in this building, women like Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Asuka, Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Carmella, Shayna Baszler, and so many, many, many more have been a big part of the women's evolution. Now, these women went on to main event pay-per-views, takeovers, WrestleMania, women's wrestling. You guys wanted this. It was the WWE Universe, the NXT Universe that wanted this. And tonight, we prepare to make history again. So let's kick off the first ever Women's Dusty Rhodes Classic.
Well, standing right there. Interesting.
And without further ado, let's get things started with first round competition. Casey Catanzaro and Kaden.
Okay, good. Let's see who they're facing.
Storm and, you know, wait, I gotta ask you about Storm and Martinez right off the bat. I mean, how is this team going to coexist?
So it's Tony Storm. Lockup between Storm and Carter. Waist lock by Carter. Wrist lock by Tony. So he roll through and roll back. Gets out of it as Kaden with a wrist lock of her own. A couple of times gets out of it and back into it. It's Tony to do a wrist lock, but Kaden gets out of it and into. Looked like she went from a wrist lock to hammer lock to a headlock. It's thrown off, comes back with a shoulder block, still standing. So single leg takedown. Handstand over her back. Gets knocked down this time by shoulder block from Tony. Goes for a drop kick instead of the traditional run over the back, just to trick her. Cover, hooks the leg, kick out at 2 by Kaden. Tags in Raquel. Ooh, this could be tough. Picks her up. Sidewalk slam. Elbow by Tony. Elbow by Raquel. Hooks the leg. 2, kick out. Kick. Ooh, that could have been the side of the head. Ducks the clothesline, and she landed on behind Raquel when Raquel was trying to pick her up. She tags in Casey. They both drop to hold her. Double kick. That senton over the top rope like Eddie Guerrero used to do. Kick out after 2. See what she goes for next. Ooh, chop by Raquel. Great selling by Casey. That's more like a slap than either a thrust or right hand. Puts her boot against her face. It would look more like it to insult her than to try to weaken her. And an uppercut knocks Casey down. And she's going for submission, neck into the back of the knee into the back of the neck, and clamps down. But Casey's standing up. Right hand. I don't know how she's getting out of it. Right hand because she's so much bigger. She lets go probably out of aggravation just to throw her down. Casey's getting upset, so she goes like a headbutt into the stomach, no effect. Or she could have been pushing her away, and that was a mistake. Duck out, she comes back. Goes for, gets it. Almost gets that DDT. It's pit countered with the. Looked like it was going to be a suplex, but when she could feel her trying to counter, hit her on her shoulder, she could go for a power slam. Caden's about to make the save. Yeah, saved big time by Caden. If she tags in Tony Storm, which they went to commercials, so we have to wait to see if she tagged her in or not. Now, as I talk about this, as I'm thinking about it during the commercial break, I wonder, how do they, in a match like this, how do they predetermine, the winner in real life? Everybody knows it's entertainment, so, which another word for being a form of acting, so that's why I don't mind saying this, because people already know it's a show. So the question is, how do they choose who's going to win? But when they come back from the break, it looked like a double team from both. Okay, so both in the ring at the same time. Oh, that's because, yeah, she did tag in Tony Storm. Tony Storm is just now tagging her back in. A couple of right hands. It looks like she throws Casey across the ring over her head. And there's Tony Storm with something behind across the face. Gets out of there. Raquel pulls Casey into the middle of the ring to cover her, and she kicks out at 2. See, forearm over the back. Let's see. Ooh, another chop from Raquel. Let's see, she puts her on the top rope. Let's see what she goes for next. Right hand. It's from the bottom to the middle rope. Setting up from face lock for something. Casey's gonna lock it somehow. Right hand. But it's not gonna stop Raquel. Hits her with her forearm. Looks like she's going for, almost looks like she's going for a Samoan drop, but I'm not sure what she's going for. Casey's fighting out of it. Looks like he's going for a twisting Frankensteiner. It was not very smooth, but it was good. Looks like it looked like that's caused a lot of pain for her. I think she's trying to refrain from cursing, because she's in so much pain at the moment. She's going over to make the tag to Tony Storm. Casey, yeah, she gets out of it, goes through the legs, tags in Caden. Avoids the big boots in a forearm and another forearm. Drop kick to Raquel. Irish whip. Looks like a forearm or an uppercut. Knocks down Storm. Drop kicks Raquel. And Raquel gets out of the ring after she falls down. Woo! Chop, then forearm to Tony. Irish whip reversal. She stops, turns herself, jumps up into a roll up, gets out of it, super kicks Tony. Okay. Run. Look like that, what we used to call face wash, where you put your boot against the face, and that's what I was thinking of earlier. Roll up. Caden gets pushed. Goes back with a drop kick to Tony. I'm trying to think of how you say that. She sprung off the ropes with a drop kick, almost got the win until Raquel made the save. Now Casey's coming in for something. Enziguri. It was a great move. Oops, out of there. I haven't seen that since Elix Skipper. With a top rope with a corkscrew onto her like a body press. Knocks her down. Casey sitting is probably about to stand up. Ooh, headbutted by Tony Storm. Caden. Release German suplex. Let's see. Casey is on the other side of the corner. Caden's getting out of that waistlock attempt. Double leg takedown, and she could be going for some type of leg submission that I don't know what it's called. Oh, half crab. She even put her foot on her back to add the pressure. By the way, the reason I keep on going back is because I'm hurting, and in my experience, by the way, Xia Li, I think she's still a women's champion. She threw Raquel onto the announce table, arm drag style like. All these beautiful women on NXT, they're trying to do give them an entertaining match, or they trying to make the male fans lose their breath because they're so beautiful. She's holding on to Tony Storm's foot on her leg, almost like a mission attempt as she tags in Casey, does Caden Carter. Let's see. Yeah, she puts both of her legs together, turns her over, almost like a reverse figure four. This is what I'm talking about right here. It was a corkscrew backwards senton. 1, 2, 3, they went. So, even though it's got shorter tag teams than the men, this is still exciting to watch. The women do deserve this. They worked very long to have the legacy that they've had the past 5, 6 years maybe, since they officially called this a revolution or evolution. Corkscrew, and she lands on her back. The best way I could say that is a senton. It's not backward, it's just a front senton with a corkscrew. Like I said, I never saw that before. I've seen corkscrew moonsaults, and I've even seen I've even heard of a corkscrew splash from Jimmy Snuka Jr., but I never saw a senton being done in the form of a corkscrew, so that's amazing. Finn Balor's being interviewed in the back as he's heading to general manager William Regal's office. I don't really know why. It's touching to me to see whether it's men or women, touching to me to see them hug like that. Let's see.
Excuse me, Finn, where are you going?
Take a wild guess. What's up? You know why I'm here. I love Pete Dunne. But I know they're getting his play. That's my own playbook. So how about this? Let me start with Oni and Danny. First I'll chop off the arms, then I'll chop off the head.
So I understand how you feel. I feel the same with myself, but I've got to protect me from myself. You know what happened last week. You can't find both of them, so you need to get yourself a partner.
So that's when he goes to Kyle O'Reilly. Makes it even more interesting. The two men had to face each other, and now they have to face common enemies. That's even more interesting.
We are gonna win the whole thing. We're gonna go down in the
Mm-hmm.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, accompanied by Malcolm Bennett,
Tyler Rust.
Tyler Rust.
Tomorrow, USA's family is growing larger. Time the Chrisleys are back and meet the dad that will get you all revved up. Chrisley Knows Best new episodes return tomorrow at 10, followed by the premiere of the new reality series, The Rev, at 10:30. Real funny, real families Thursdays, right here on USA. This is going to be a real mountain of an opponent.
Big time.
Tyler Rust.
This guy's incredible. He's facing Bronson Reed, I believe.
And Reed set this one-on-one matchup as he gets focused and is ready.
You know, what's interesting? His vest looks like the way, not his coat slash vest, looks like a vest like Scott Hall used to wear. It looks like the same pattern and everything. There's a few differences in it. Like, looks like it looks like something in New York City, like some of their buildings. So that's the difference. But the rest looks like a similar pattern to a vest that Scott Hall used to wear in NWO. Because it is black and white. So he was confronted first by Isaiah Swerve Scott. Now he has to get his mind on this match.
Did anyone ever tell Swerve not to step on Godzilla's tail?
Great point. And let's not forget,
Starts off this match, Tyler Rust kicking Bronson in the quadricep muscle. It goes more wrist like you can't do that with somebody this big unless you're as big as him. Interesting. I think it was going for a different version of a wrist lock, but he gets it put on him. And he reverses it right away, but gets thrown off by Bronson. That's a side headlock by Bronson. That's a smart move. See what they go for. What Tyler goes for here. Into the ropes. Looks like he's gonna have to break the rules and kick Liam in the gut to get him off of him. That's the only thing I can see. Does get him in the ropes. Instead of kneeing him, he kicked him under the arm. Ooh, shoulder block by Bronson Reed. That's not what Tyler was expecting. I think it's outside on the mat. He's outside on the mat. So now he's gonna have to go to his. I call him a manager myself because he looks more like a manager than what Paul Heyman says as an advocate. It's more like an advisor. So that's why I would call him a manager. He gets thrown back up and then he lands on his knee, almost like a gut wrench. And a backward fall away slam, as they call it. He jumps back up there on the apron. That's a mistake. His advisor's telling him to use his mind, use his brains. But everything he's done so far is not going to work, so he's got to outsmart him. Starting right there, goes with a version of a wrist lock, and he comes down over the ropes like an arm wringer. Goes down with it, adds on to the difficulty he's facing. In the back, you have I think Gonzalez. No, it was Xia Li. And Tony Storm being held apart because I think Tony Storm saw that I think it's Xia Li. I think she saw the replay that Xia Li threw her partner across the announce table, and that's why she couldn't tag her in. But as I'm reading this, I think they said that it was Mercedes that she was arguing with. So let's see. Oh, so it was the two partners. I thought it was somebody else. Okay. Gets hit. Does Tyler first in the stomach, then the right hand, then the forehead a couple of times. Irish whip. I'm not really sure what to call that. A running avalanche instead of an avalanche in the corner. That's what it looks like. It knocks down Tyler. And a regular avalanche in the corner looks like you're going for a chokeslam next. Like a high angle chokeslam. Hooks the leg to kick out. Left shoulder up. By Tyler Rust. Okay. Forearm to Bronson. I think it could be going for yeah, I wasn't really sure what to call it, but it looks like just an arm bar, almost turning it into a hammerlock. That is really a mistake. Those were a version of like a Samoan drop, super Samoan drop. Bronson Reed still kicks out. So this gonna be interesting to see how this ends. When he went for his finisher, it was countered by just a simple push by Bronson, and Bronson goes for that senton that we used to see from either Samoa Joe or Kevin Owens, or both of them. So let's see what he does here. goes for that splash, wins all the time with it. 2, 3. Well, let's be fair. The Diamond and the Rest, he didn't. Let's be fair. This guy was too big for him to even show that he could be a Diamond. It's going to be interesting to see the next person he goes against. He should have just waited for his manager before he spoke to Regal. After talking with the backstage interviewer, Balor decided to go to the Undisputed Era so he could talk to Kyle O'Reilly, and he talked him into being his partner. Go against the two guys he has problems with. Okay, Santos Escobar, two associates, really do a number on Metalik and Dorado until somebody came out. I don't really know who he is. Let's see.
And they're going to face Legado del Fantasma in the quarterfinals. And these two men, that being Metalik and Dorado, despise Legado del Fantasma.
Tensions are exploding over who holds the legacy of Lucha Libre.
Gracias, man, in NXT, Santos Escobar. Who on earth is that?
And from behind, helping out Lucha House Party, that's Kurt Stallion, a 205 Live standout, one of the fastest rising prospects in the
So the guy's name is Kurt Stallion. He's helping him. This guy's got to do with it because
Now I know
he's the Cruiserweight champion.
SKR, they're a phenomenal tag team, and with all intents and purposes, the surprise team that are going to come right into the Dusty Classic and shock the world and win this thing. But they're not going to win this thing, Mackenzie, because the team that's going to win this thing is going to storm all the way to the finals, stand atop of the NXT Tag Team ladder, and win the Dusty Tag Team Classic, the Dusty Cup. That team, Mackenzie, is Killian Day and Drake Maverick.
It's pretty good.
Thanks.
NXT, there's a reason that this match has only happened once before, because of the brutality, the destruction, the devastation.
I'm not really surprised they changed it. I just want to know why. Last time they had him, okay, they did have this match once before. I just don't know who else went against Thatcher. But I think this was inspired by the original match that had Owen Hart and Ken Shamrock in it. They go from the top to the bottom. I think you either win by pinfall submission or yeah, I think that is the option. I don't think you can say I quit. I think you have to submit verbally or using your hand to tap out. So Thatcher be the supposed greatest sports entertainer of all time. With so he was actually holding the leg. So yeah, he won with a leg submission. So that's interesting to see. And to see when fast forwarding, you can see the rights and the lefts and everything in between. So not only was it a great NXT show, it was a great main event. And hope you all enjoyed this. Sorry if an hour 14 is too long. I'll try to do it shorter. Thank you and goodbye.